This is Matt for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always a pleasure to be joined by Malik Scott. Malik, I think the last time we caught up, I believe, may have been it was either Saudi Arabia or Manchester for the Misfits card, the KSI fight. I know
Right.
you've got a fight coming up, Faze Temper, Miami. How's everything going with that? How's his training coming along for this fight?
It's coming along good. Um, how's it coming along? I mean, good. I got unboxing guys that's 10 times better than him, 10 times stronger than him, and he's dealing with it and he's showing up every day. And that's all you can ask of a guy.
Yeah. It's always a bit difficult, I suppose, when you've come from that professional background and you've the people you've been in the ring with and the people you've trained to then go and you take on the guys from the crossover world. What's the sort of differences? Can you see like a natural improvement in him since from when you first took him on?
Um, but the thing with Temper is he has like coming from like a knowledgeable standpoint and being able and he's put in a position where he get to receive like good knowledge and good training, not just from me, but from cruiserweight contender Kareem Hackett, another word, boxing training, Julian Chu, and
Hmm.
anybody else that's around Brickhouse Gym. Like we all just want them to do good. But mm, as far as his improvements, but you gotta realize sometimes I could train people, and when I'm seeing them every day, I may not see the improvement, or I may see the improvement, but I just be so caught up in the moment of this. I'm very like in the moment type of person,
Yeah.
and to me, the improvement will show on fight night. Like you know what I mean? If he's improved, or if he's having, I guess it'll show
Hmm.
on fight night. But then that don't even mean nothing because guys can improve and still not show up on fight night.
Yeah.
Boxing is like, such an enigma the way how this shit goes sometimes, but we'll see.
Yeah. Have you sort of spoke to him maybe about dealing with the fight night scenario? Because you know yourself, you just mentioned there, you can train, be firing on all cylinders, then you turn up and sometimes the lights are just a bit too bright and things go, the plan doesn't always work. Have you spoke about maybe the mindset and how key that is to making sure that he keeps it together for this moment?
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I've been sharing with Temper since I've, first got connected with him. But at the same time, when the night of the fight comes, like what these guys think during during the night is totally up to them. The trainers, like we could do but so much. Like, you know what I mean? Especially someone that is like passionate about this sport as much as I am. I
Hmm.
only could give you what I got, and it's up to you to go in there and perform under whatever circumstances that we're facing.
Yeah, 100%. What's been the biggest challenges you've had as a trainer? Obviously, you've seen the game. You're a student of the game. You've been in the game a hell of a long time. What's the biggest challenge for you as a trainer with this part of your career? What are you wanting to get out of it? Is it just a love for the game? Is it see a fighter, climb the ladder of becoming world champion? What is it?
What is what? What's the question?
What's that? What's that end goal for you in terms of being a trainer? What do you want to have achieved of it, say, in the next 5 years' time? Is it, getting a fighter to a world title, letting them achieve their dreams? Is that your motivation for it?
My motivation is just always finding the space to stay inspired, stay motivated. And I think everything after that to me is a bonus. It's like equivalent to asking somebody, um, how you feeling today? And they give you an answer like healthy. I feel very good and healthy. And anything else that they have planned for that day is going to come behind good health. And that's how I feel about me with boxing. I feel like, it's no secret. I'm very knowledgeable. I have an incredible boxing brain, but at times it's tough to stay inspired. Like, I'm not always motivated. Like it's not something that I always want to do. I know I always want to be involved in boxing, but I think the toughest thing, not just for me, I'm maybe one of the few that say it, but I think we all can hit a wall sometime, not just in boxing, in any genre of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like you'll hear writers say they get writer's block. You'll hear I've heard interviews of Jerry Rice back in his San Francisco 49ers days saying, I have I had a beautiful season last season. Then this season, it seemed like things didn't
Mm.
click, and he thought it was his mentality. Joe Montana was like that as well. So it's just like, you take the ups and downs with this, and you just, you navigate through, but always just keep the craft first. And that's what I do. So even on a day that I don't feel like doing anything that has to do with boxing,
Yeah.
I'm still doing stuff that have to do with boxing. It's just because it's a part of me. It's who I am.
100%. You've obviously seen a lot happen through your training career as well.
Yeah.
After last time we seen you in, I think it was Saudi Arabia, Deontay Wilder. I know you two are more than just trainer and fighter. You two have built up such a bond over a period of time. Have you two had a conversation about potentially what's next? I know you can't speak for him, but you spoke about it and what he wants to do. He's given so much to the sport.
Yeah, well, he's doing a lot of resting right now, and about to start doing a lot of traveling. And I'm happy with just that at the moment. And whatever it is he want to do after that, I'm sure that's something we'll talk about. But lately, like, we really just been having conversations heavy about life stuff, like, the kids, the house, things you want to do here, things that I'm thinking of doing here, like, just regular stuff. And that's because, like, me and Deontay met through boxing, but our life, like, when boxing is far and gone, we'll still be talking to each other 3-4 times a week, just about even as to say, hey, what you doing? You see that? I seen that. All right, I'm out with the kids. I hit you when we get back from the movies. Or I see whatever it is it may be. So right now, when I seen him last time, the day before yesterday, he was leaving physical therapy, had to get a few things done on his body, and just to talking about life and everything. But it's not no secret that Deontay Wilder's a warrior, right?
Yeah.
And it's not no secret everything he brought to not just boxing, but especially to the heavyweight division over the last decade. So just his character alone would let you know that it's something that has to be coming. Like, you know what I mean? Just his character alone. So we'll see, though. We'll see. I'm extremely proud of him for everything that he's done and where he come from. And when you look up at the scoreboard of life, he's up 100 points with 5 seconds left in the game. So anything else is all a bonus after that.
Yeah, 100%. I remember when he spoke about why he got into boxing, and it was just to provide for his kid, and what he achieved through that, through obviously the amateur background, to then bursting onto the scene with all these knockouts and achieving what he achieved. Take my hat off to him. In terms of the other fights, obviously we've got one this weekend. Joe Joyce, Derek Chisora. I think it's
Joe Joyce.
Yeah, is that what you're going for in that fight?
Joe. Oh, Joe. Oh, yes. I spoke on that fight. I'm going. It's an in the middle kind of fight because Joe Joyce is big enough and young enough in comparison to Chisora.
Yep.
To possibly, go in there. I only can promise one thing with that type of fight: it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a lot of fun as long as it lasts. You just can't be shocked that those guys go in there and the fight is slow pace, 4 punches in the clinch, 5 punches in the clinch. It may be that type of thing. They're gonna beat the shit out of each other. They're gonna beat the shit out of each other. If you're into that, that's cool.
As soon as I saw the fight get made, my first thought was, this could be quite fun.
It's gonna be fun.
It could be fun to see for whatever happens.
And that's why it was made. It was made because even the powers that be, they know it's going to be fun. Regardless of the age difference, you can expect some fun from it,
100%. Lastly from me, I want to talk about Fury Usyk rematch. You obviously know you've seen Tyson throughout the years. We've seen Oleksandr Usyk now burst onto the heavyweight scene, and he got the belts. If you were training a Tyson Fury for this fight rematch with Oleksandr Usyk, how do you sort of gear him up for this, and what do you change? Because he was winning quite a few rounds, but ultimately Usyk did his thing, got the standing count, got the decision. What do you say? Do you just say fine tune him a little bit, make him aware of certain things? How do you approach a rematch with an Oleksandr Usyk?
I mean, with Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury with the first fight, like, it's very, very hard to see the size difference. And someone asked me, what do you think Tyson Fury should do? Because just the size alone, it puts you in a position to say, well, he should just go forward and impose himself. Well, boxing don't go like that. Just because you're big don't mean you should go forward. But to the typical consumer, they feel as though a bigger man should just go forward. Well, if a bigger man is dealing with a trap setter, one of the best trap setters in the history of the sport, like Oleksandr Usyk, then he's basically walking walking on a landmine. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's very tough. He's in a tough position, but obviously there's things he can do because at times it was one time in the fight where I feel like if it keep going like this, 1 or 2 more rounds, he may stop him.
Yeah.
But Usyk, he has a gift, and to me, what his gift is, he finds a way to win, regardless of the circumstances, the size, whatever it is you do. And that's, to me, the Mayweather effect. Whatever it is you're extremely good at, he takes that away, and then you become average, and then he exploits your whole style. And I actually think the fight that's coming up with him next is going to be worse for Fury. Like, because there's only 2 things he can do. He can try to box and move, and I think that'll play a toll because Oleksandr Usyk, he puts so much feet pressure on you that you just can't box and move but so long. You're going to have to deal with him in a physical manner with your offense. But then if he just come forward, then he may be going for the traps that the Dubois went for, that the Anthony Joshua's went for. Like, you know what I mean? So in my opinion, he's fighting probably, because Usyk punch harder than he's given credit for, right? So
He's
in my
sharp.
opinion, he's very, very sharp. Tyson Fury is probably fighting next to Terence Crawford, the most complete fighter in the sport, especially in the division. As far as being a complete fighter, he does everything, not a little bit good, but very good. Like, he's very good at coming forward, but not getting hit. He's very good at using his lead hand to set up big shots. He's very good at coming forward, back and left, right, whatever. I just think I think it's going to be worse for Fury.
Yeah. You mentioned Terence Crawford, Israil Madrimov coming up, stepping up in weight. What a fight that is. I think with all the talk of Canelo in the background and all these other things, I think people may be sleeping on this fight a little bit. What's your opinion? Terence Crawford, pound for pound #1 in a lot of people's eyes. Israil Madrimov bouncing off a very good victory, world-class operator. How do you see this fight playing out? I think it's a great fight.
I think I don't see. On paper, it's not a great fight. Terence Crawford and this guy, right? On paper, it's not a great fight, right? Stylistically, when I look at it, it's just not a great fight. I see like Terence Crawford like having an incredible performance against this guy, but I think like it's so, in my opinion, this is humbly, it's such a dull fight. And if you really, really want to be honest with yourself and what you're looking at, you know that Terence Crawford should win this by a landslide. But for the sake of saving the show and sales pitching it, you have to say this guy has done something good, or he's beat somebody extra legitimate when he really haven't beaten no one close to Terence Crawford's level. So you can expect a grand master performance out of Crawford, even though he hasn't fought in a while. And it's very hard for me to go against someone that's in Terence Crawford's position, but all you see him doing is dedicating himself to the craft. So that means he's not taking nothing for granted, regardless of who the opponent is. So I think Destiny is going to reward him pretty well for this.
Are you interested in him and Canelo?
Yeah, I think Crawford has a better chance at beating Canelo than Berlanga has a chance at beating Canelo. A lot of the guys in Canelo weight class, that I don't care if they big or whatever, size don't win the fights. Like Canelo don't be winning fights to me because of size. He be winning fights because his skills. He'd be winning fights because of his feet pressure, because how strong he is at times, and when he imposes so. But I think that Terence Crawford got, to me, the best shot at beating him, if you was to say in the game. You take Better Beeve away, and what's my guy named The Monster. All of those, they have the shots. But Benavidez. I'm talking about a guy that's in a weight class under. Crawford got just a chance, if not more, at beating Canelo than any of those guys in Canelo's weight class.
Look, all these fights we're talking about, it's just great that boxing's in this position where we're getting to see all this. Just before we go, have you got a message of things to look out for? You maybe something that's coming out of Brickhouse Boxing. I know you guys are doing a lot of good work down there. You got a message to sign this off?
No, not really. I love boxing. My name is Malik Scott. I'm a good person, and I'm gonna die like this. Peace and love.
Appreciate your time, Malik. Thank you for joining us on Boxing Social. We catch up soon, hopefully in person. Cheers, appreciate it.
Okay. God bless you, man.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.